For years of my life, I was proud to be the low maintenance girl or the chill girl. So in my romantic relationships, I never needed much to be happy. I never expected much. I made myself very easy to be with. In my friendships, I never caused any drama. I never said something when I was upset. I just always seemed very unbothered. And when it came to my dreams and my goals, I was never very loud about what I wanted to achieve. I seemed very easygoing and flexible, and as if I would just be happy with whatever. And again, for years of my life, I was so proud to be this low maintenance and this chill because I thought it made me emotionally independent and mature. And I thought that's why people loved me, and I loved myself for being that chill and uncomplicated. But eventually, surprise, surprise, all of that being so low maintenance and so chill ended up catching up with me, and I had to face the very uncomfortable truth. Being low maintenance had caused me to become the most miserable version of myself that I'd ever been. And so based on that experience, today I wanted to talk about the dark side of being low maintenance, all the ways it leads to resentment and loneliness and burnout, and most importantly, how you can step into your high maintenance era in the healthiest way. As always, if you enjoy my content, feel free to support it in some way, such as liking, commenting, or subscribing. Your support is so appreciated. And also, you can download my free 12-minute anxiety release guided meditation in the link below. Okay, so from my experience, anyone who ends up being proud of being low maintenance or the chill girl has usually gone through the same experience. At some point in your life, you were surrounded by people who gave you the most love and the most attention and the most validation when your needs were small and convenient. So on some level, maybe not consciously, but on a deeper level, you learned the less you ask for, the more you are loved and the more you are accepted. And eventually that kind of environment wires that into your brain. And so to cope with what's going on around you, you start to almost romanticize this idea of being low maintenance, and you take it on as part of your personality. So you start seeing always being easygoing and not needing much as being a good friend, a good person, a good partner. It's you being emotionally independent. It's you being mature. And most importantly, you start to see this character trait of yours, of you being low maintenance, as a strength, something to be proud of, because it's you not making the lives of other people difficult. It's you doing something that people love and admire you for so much. It's you being happy regardless of what's given to you or regardless of what's going on around you. How selfless of you, how mature of you, how emotionally independent of you. So if I could go back to that past version of me who was so proud of being so low maintenance, and I could tell her only one thing to snap her out of this, I would say, what if you replaced the word low maintenance with low priority? Then how would it feel to look at your life through that lens? So you don't need much in your relationship to be happy because you have accepted being a low priority in your relationship. You never bring up your needs in friendships because you have come to believe that your needs in friendships are a low priority. And you stay quiet about your dreams and your goals because somewhere deep down, you also believe in this world, your dreams and your goals are a low priority. So the dark side of being low maintenance is that even though you might feel certain environments and certain people love you the most when you are that chill girl who doesn't need much to be happy and is so easygoing, that validation and that approval comes with a price. And that price is that one day you realize that that low maintenance version of you is not the full version of you. And then that version won't feel enough anymore, even for you. Your voice will want to come back. Your standards will want to rise. Your desires will want to grow. And that's also when you start seeing all of the pain that you have been suppressing under this label of being low maintenance. Maybe it was never as cool and as romantic as you thought it was. So now, if I could go back to that past version of me again, and I could tell her only one piece of advice when it comes to breaking the cycle and stepping into her high maintenance era, which will ultimately lead her to everything that she's been looking for, I would say you have to become comfortable with being a shitty person. And let me explain what I mean by that. If the old me could see the new me today, she would judge me so much. She would think, who are you to have these high standards in your relationships? Who are you to be so loud about your dreams and your goals? Who are you to cut off people so easily when you don't feel good around them? You seem arrogant and entitled. The thing is, when you have been stuck in this low maintenance, chill girl mindset for a while, breaking that cycle and stepping into your high maintenance era is going to take some time, because you have essentially practiced your mind into thinking that your life currently is all you are allowed to ask for, and asking for more feels like asking for too much. And so until you manage to rewire your brain to this new standard of high maintenance that you are aiming for, until you manage that, practicing being high maintenance in the meantime is going to feel uncomfortable and wrong, and as if you are being a shitty person, and you have to be okay with going through that phase. So let's say, for example, you start dating someone new, and then you start to realize that the dynamic is starting to feel really inconsistent. So this person doesn't really text back anymore. They're not really making proper plans. They're not being available. The old you would have tolerated that, because she would have thought, well, it's fine because I don't need much to be happy. I'm good by myself. I'm chill. You do you. The few times where you are available is enough for me. But the new you, the you stepping into a high maintenance mindset, wouldn't accept that. And she would go in and say, actually, this doesn't work for me. I value clear communication, and I value effort, and I value consistency. And so I'm not going to accept breadcrumbs just to keep someone around. Handling that situation differently for the first time is going to feel terrible at first. It's going to feel like you're asking for too much, and you are ruining something that was actually totally fine, and you are being entitled, and you're not being independent enough. Or another example, maybe you have been really easygoing until now when it comes to your dreams. So you have downplayed your ambitions and your goals and your talents. And so now you are in a job where you realize you're not actually growing and you're not really happy. And the old you was fine with that, because she was just fine with whatever and she was going with the flow. But the new you realizes, okay, no, to step into my high maintenance era, I need to let go of this job because it is no longer what I want and no longer what I know I deserve. Quitting that job and going there and saying, I am no longer working for you, is going to feel terrible at first, and as if you are being a shitty person and you are asking for too much, and you're not being understanding enough, and you're being entitled, and you're being arrogant. And that's the interesting thing about change. No matter how good the change that we are going through is, in the beginning, it feels uncomfortable. So, stepping out of this low maintenance mindset and stepping into your high maintenance era might not feel empowering just yet in the beginning. It might just feel uncomfortable and as if you're being a shitty person. But exactly in those moments when you don't listen to your old self who wants to keep the peace and keep quiet, and you decide to take a different choice, even if it feels uncomfortable, in that choice, that's where your life will start to change. Being low maintenance might make you feel loved and appreciated by many people, but being high maintenance will make you feel aligned with yourself. And that is worth all the people who might not like that new version of yourself.